Arriving at St. Andrew Station. Doors will open on the left.
Hey everyone, it's Wednesday, June 9th. The time right now is 5:03 p.m. and the temperature outside is 27 degrees Celsius. And that was St. Andrew Station I just left. And this here would be part of the path network. This is a small food court underneath one of the office towers here. I'm just heading on up to street level. And the plan for this one is to head south from here in the financial district and take a walk through the South Core area. And this is King Street West, and that's a look to the east. And there's a look south down University Avenue towards the South Core District. And along the way, I hope to pass through a few different streets I've yet to record on this channel before. There's a 503 streetcar. That'll be heading over to Kingston Road. And here is Emily Street. And I don't believe I've ever been down here before, at least not on the channel. That's a look at St. Andrews. And that's an old Romanesque revival style church. It was completed back in 1876, but you do get a much better view from King Street. And just to the west of here is the entertainment district. So I'll be heading south to Wellington, and then I think I'll head over to Simcoe. And then I'll head south to another street I've yet to record on this channel. So this is definitely one of the lesser known side streets downtown. We are just a couple of days away now from phase one of the reopening, which will see outdoor patios and most retail open. There will be capacity limits and still no indoor dining, but at least it's a start. So here is Wellington, which is one way through the financial district. And it looks like there's a redevelopment proposal for this building here. want to take it up to 65 stories. I'll be heading south right here, so we don't have to worry about walking directly into that harsh sunlight for too long. There's a look at Roy Thompson Hall. So this is Simcoe Street. And just on the left is 160 Front Street, which is a new tower going up that'll be home to TD Bank and the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan. If I can remember from the last time I walked by, I think it will be about 46 stories, around 780 feet. Of course, 46 office stories is significantly higher than 46 condo stories. This is Front Street West coming up. And there's Scatterbush. That's an Italian restaurant. I imagine that patio will spring to life on Friday. I've been there a few times. And there goes a GO train rolling through. Since I won't make the light, let's take a look up at this tower currently under construction. So here is Front Street West. Let's look towards Union Station. Just to the west there is the Metro Toronto Convention Centre. And a view of just the tip of the CN Tower. And it's another GO train rolling into Union Station from the suburbs. It looks like there's plans to erect a 52-story building on this plot of land. I guess this building will be coming down. And coming up is Station Street. And we'll be heading along the street over to York Street. There goes a westbound GO train. So this street definitely has more of a back alley feel to it. And there is the Skywalk. You can take that from the CN Tower, Ripley's Aquarium, and the Sky Dome over to Union Station. It's quite handy in the winter time. Now that the South Core is developed, it's a little bit less relevant in the summer when you'd normally be going to see a Blue Jay game. It's a much nicer walk to take outside. So this will be York Street coming up. And just on the other side of York Street there is Union Station. That Good Life Fitness won't be opening back up on Friday though. Gyms and personal care services will remain closed, at least for the time being. And that was a look up north. Just to the north of here, it kind of splits into two. York Street, if you stay straight, and if you go slightly to the left, you'll end up on University. So this is underneath the rail tracks. And the air under here is not very fresh at all. It's kind of terrible, actually. And this is the South Core district we're entering. It was once part of Toronto Harbour, and it sits on landfill that went in between the mid-1800s and the 1920s. The area now is connected to the path. So that station I started at was the path, so you could walk all the way over here through indoor connections underground. And coming up is Bremner Boulevard. So if you turn right, that'll take you over to the Skydome and CN Tower. And if you turn left, it'll take you to the former Air Canada Centre, which is now Scotiabank Arena. Where somewhat recently, the Toronto Maple Leafs embarrassed themselves by getting eliminated from the playoffs. But really, what else is new? And that part of Bremner there was renamed to Raptors Way in honor of their NBA championship a few years ago. I'm just going to cross south here and make my way over to another street I've yet to explore. That is the Rogers Centre off in the distance. Trying to take a picture for a potential thumbnail. It's usually a little higher quality when I use my phone versus finding a screenshot. There's a pretty good look at the tower. And this street here is Grand Trunk Crescent. I think it makes an L shape. And that is the Gardner Expressway just to the south of here. And on the other side of that, To the south a bit is Queens Quay West and Lake Ontario. And these on the left are the ICE condos. I've never seen them from this vantage point. It looks kind of like a hotel. That's because it pretty much is right here. This is sort of known as Airbnb Central. And I think these were built back in 2014, or that's when they opened. And there doesn't appear to be any way to connect south to Lakeshore. Or back east to York Street, so I'll just head over to Lower Simcoe. One more look at the ICE condos. They are 57 and 64 stories in height, if I can remember correctly. This is one of those walks I just kind of made up on my way downtown. So I'm trying to recall little tidbits that I just happen to know or have previously looked up.
Understand this from a new perspective.
And here is Lower Simcoe. Just north of Front Street, it is simply Simcoe Street. So I think what I'll do is I'll head south to Harbour Street, then I'll walk over to either Bay or Yonge. Maybe I'll go to Yonge and we can check out the new high-rise development that is the tallest in the city going up, or at least it's one of the two tallest in the city. And the Lucky Clover. I imagine this place will be rocking on Friday. I've got reservations for a spot on Saturday evening. Friday, I think I'm going to go out and do some recording. And here is the biggest eyesore in the city, the Gardner Expressway. That's the main east-west highway across the south end of the city. And this would be Lakeshore Boulevard West. So just to the south of there, or here, is Lake Ontario. But we'll be heading east along Harbour Street. Harbour Street is more to the north of here, of course. So this would be the western terminus of Harbour Street. And here's a multi-use trail. And this sort of sharp-edged Flatiron-esque building by Tridel is 109 York. And that was completed in 2018. And it's a little over 700 feet tall. And it definitely adds to the glass and concrete environment of the South Core. That would be my biggest critique of this area. I don't mind the lack of small-scale developments. It's the fact that all the developments they do have here are just kind of cold and sterile in terms of how they meet the street and interact with the neighborhood. Well, here's a 41 to 71 story, or it looks like the one on the right would be 41 and the one on the left would be 71 story proposal for that area. These buildings here were some of the first to spring up along the South Core. So this area has really come into its own over the last few decades. Before that, it was kind of just a big wasteland. And it looks like there's a bit more life on the south side of the street here. Maybe I'll cross over. There's a look south towards Queens Quay. And this is the future home of Love Park. So there'll be a heart-shaped pond in the middle. That guy's managed to get his dog in there. And they've kind of kept the old off-ramps. It's kind of a neat touch. And at least there's a separate sidewalk and bike trail here. Notice they no longer have the pedestrians on the markings. If only it could be like this everywhere. Kind of standing in a no man's land right now. I'm in between the bike lane and the street. There is a Cabas. I know they had a location up in North York. That's a big grocery store. I would say of all the areas of the South Core, this might be the nicest, just due to the greenery and the cycling infrastructure. Say that as a truck comes out onto the sidewalk. It's certainly a pretty convenient neighborhood to live. You're rather central. You've got Union Station, a short walk away, the waterfront. And of course the sports venues and other amenities. Here is the Toronto Harbour Commission. It's a gorgeous old building, and it houses one of the best steak restaurants in the city, Harbour 60 Steakhouse. And that building dates back to 1917. You can actually find pictures of the city where this was right at the foot of the city. Everything around here was water at the time. And they've got a very large patio just behind the building, which I think they're eagerly anticipating reopening in a few days. And this is Bay Street. And that's the Western Harbour Castle Hotel on the south side of Queens Quay, and here is the conference center. And you'll notice there's a redevelopment sign on the building there. I think it was announced a few years ago that there were intentions to knock that down. I think it's supposed to be a 50-story story tower going in that spot. They've also announced today that Canadians who have received 2 doses of the vaccine are able to skip quarantine upon returning to the country from air travel. So what that means for me is once I've got that second shot, I'll be hopping online and booking a trip overseas somewhere. Yep, this is good. This is how you do it. Let's just all block the sidewalk. And across the street is the Pinnacle development site at 1 Yonge. There'll be a number of tall towers going up, including one that's 1,025 feet tall. I think that's it right there, actually. That'll be one of 2 super talls going up in the city. The other one is on the other side of downtown at Yonge and Bloor. This would be the south end. We're also recladding the old Toronto Star building and adding some floors to it. It's a rather impressive looking project, so it'll be cool to see that go up. There's a look south towards Lake Ontario. And now it's north up Yonge Street, so I'll just make my way over to Union Station, then I'll head home. I was thinking about live streaming tonight, but I decided not to bring my stuff with me. Maybe I'll hop on the bike for a quick live stream when I get home. Here's Lakeshore Boulevard. I'm not sure if I've ever walked along that stretch of Lakeshore before. Maybe I'll head that way over to Union Station. There's a bike lane on Yonge, and that idiot is endangering all those people on the sidewalk by riding right up through them. So is that girl. Like, there's a bike lane right there. Even if there wasn't a bike lane, there's no excuse for that. If you watch this channel, you know that's one of my pet peeves. For the most part, people are good. I wonder if I can access Bay Street this way. There's a fence up ahead. That's the new Go Bus terminal on the right. I did a video through there right when it opened. Sidewalk closed. Please use other side. It looks like they closed that part, but I can cut through here. I just couldn't quite see this from back where I was. And I was going to cross over to that side there, but that's going to be a rather long traffic light. So we'll head up alongside the new CIBC Square Towers. You can actually connect to Union Station through that walkway there. Bus terminal entrance. That part is not yet open. And that's Scotiabank Arena just on the other side, and these are the railway tracks once again. I'm heading underneath. an entrance to the bus terminal. I'll just head up to Front Street and then hop over into Union. There's a neat view, and that's where the old bus terminal was. And that space is being redeveloped. So here is Front Street East. And the old Dominion building. I'm just circling around since I have time before the next light change. Throw the mask on. There's a look north up Bay that cuts through the heart of the city's financial district. That's sort of Canada's Wall Street. Took me a second there to get my Presto card out. All right, I hope you enjoyed this walk, starting from St. Andrew Station down through the South Core District. There's a number of people waiting for the streetcar. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support the channel, there's a link to my Patreon in the description, and you can also check out channel memberships on my YouTube page. Anywho, thanks for watching, guys, and I will catch you on the next one.